Hello, hope you're well. Well, I'm glad that's all over with. Christmas, gone, bin. Now we've got cheap Aldi mince pies. Let's go. Hope everyone's well. I got asked a good question the other day and it's kind of spurred on this video. I've got absolutely nothing written down. I'm just going to go off the top of the head at this one. I got asked a good question the other day. And this sounds like the start of a joke, but it's genuinely not. It was just a general conversation with someone. And they asked me, am I more of a follower or a leader? And I take things at quite sort of literal. I take things quite deep at the moment. Please don't clip that, for fuck's sake. And I had to really think about this one. I had to really am I a follower or a leader? And I understand that these questions are quite binary sometimes. They're very 0 and 1. Which are you, black or white, sort of thing. And I actually answered about 3 minutes later. And I said, do you know what? I think I'm a follower, but I think I'm a really, really good connector. I'm a very people-orientated, sort of skill-based. This person's strong at this ability, this person's strong at this ability, so maybe they should meet in the middle and talk to each other or something. And I've always been that way, and I've always been very sort of able to get amongst people and be like, look, you know, if you speak to this person, they might be able to help you with this. I've had a couple of people reach out to me this year, just as a totality, saying, like, I really want to be a professional drummer. Like, I really want to be a professional musician. How can I do it? And I thought, fucking hell, if you're asking me, like, I'm not any of those things, but I kind of understand why people come to me for those things, because I know people that are those things. So I'm happy to connect people up. But yeah, I can't obviously guarantee that you'll get like a 6-figure salary out of it, but try my best to help people out if I can. And this really sort of stayed with me, this question of, am I a follower or am I a leader? And it made me think about my old business partner, who I'm not going to name in this video. But if you really, really want to find out who that is, you can probably find it out quite quickly on some of the videos that I've previously done on this channel. But I was listening to Dr. K interview a streamer earlier whilst I was at work on a podcast. And there was a really profound moment in it where I really felt like they were talking directly to me and my circumstance. Because unfortunately, earlier this year, I had to get rid of my last business partner because he was just not picking his weight up. And I've said that to him directly. And I've said it to his face. I've said it remotely, you know, or I've said it digitally. And it's like, you weren't there for me when Absolute Bedlam needed you. And I really needed your help. And you just weren't available, and you were constantly telling me how fucking busy you were all the time. And I just got sick of hearing it. If you're an editor or a production engineer or some sort of person that works behind the scenes, then I actually need you to work behind the scenes. And there was this moment in this Dr. K interview, I might actually put the link to that in the description, where Dr. K said there's a lot of people out there that talk but don't do. And there's a lot of people out there that do but don't talk. And I thought, fuck me, that's amazing. That's so true. How many people do you know that just talk and talk and talk and say, I'm going to get fit in January. I'm going to start that business that I meant to start 15 years ago. And I'm going to turn my life around. And I'm going to kick the cigarettes. And I'm going to get rid of all of the bad habits in my... No, you're not. No, you're not. You're just not. You're just going to talk about it. You're going to talk about it forever. You're going to talk about writing that fucking book. You're just not going to do it. You're just going to talk about doing nothing. Whereas, if you've got people in the background doing stuff, squirreling away, being a duck in the water, they don't usually pop their head out. And I thought, fucking hell, that's so interesting. And a lot of people that just do are quite humble, in my experience. They're not the big I am, which is usually what the talkers do. And I really wanted to speak to my previous business partner about this. And he said something to me which made me question my whole reality, which was, what's the point? It's happened now. Now this took me to the point that I'm now recording this video. The point is, it was a year ago nearly, and I've obviously been thinking about the communication breakdown of everything. So I'm ready to talk, but you're not bothered. And the purpose of having closure, of having self-reflection, of trying to explain your side of the story, because there's 3 sides to every story. There's his side, her side, and the actual truth. And I thought this could actually be a really good tool for me to explain to this person, like, what I thought was going on. And he just went, nah, I'm not bothered. And that says a lot more about him than it says about me. Because I am actually trying to become a lot more empathetic and a lot more emotionally intelligent, in my opinion. And I'm trying to lead from the front as a follower, which isn't my natural state, as I've just, mentioned. But I'm really trying to make Absolute Bedlam a nice place for people to work at, And if you're just like too busy, who hasn't got 15 minutes? Like, truly, comment below, how much spare time do you think you actually have in a day, even if you're at work? Because I just cannot subscribe to this idea that someone can't just quickly pop to the toilet, get their phone out, sat down, 30 seconds. Hey man, you're on my mind. Hope you're all right. I just want to check in with you. Who doesn't have that facility? And the people that don't have that facility, which they actually do, but they don't want to admit that they do, they're the people that become lonely. Because when people needed them, all they were doing was telling people how busy they are. And if your whole thing is just work, 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 let me give you a bit of inside baseball. In 72 hours, if you quit your job advert would go up. Even if you were the CEO, no one gives a shit. So stay close to your friends, build connections that actually matter. And I know that people like to see loads of money in their bank accounts. I understand. We all have to pay bills, we all have to pay rent, etc., etc. But just be a bit of a human being, But yeah, there we go. So yeah, if anyone needs me in the next couple of hours, I'm going to be busy. So I'll get back to you when I can. And once again, apologies for shouting into the void and turning this into a potential dirty laundry channel. But just be nice to each other, please. I'm all about community, and I'm all about inclusion and making people feel that they're part of something here. And when you've just got people like that just bat you away and say, what's the point? It's just like, oh, you're just not someone that I want to hang around with. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave you to it. Love you all. Have a good one. And I will see you next year.
Bye.